Hey, what's up, guys? We're trying this for the first time to go live. Nick, how you doing?
I'm doing good, man. Thanks for having me on again.
Exciting day for us. Exciting day
It's
for us. It's like Christmas, right?
Christmas. It is Christmas all over again, man. A month later.
Yeah. Hold on one second. I want to thank you guys for coming on. Diver, Jacob, Tina. Hold on one second. I can't find it. Just going right into it. Let's kick it off right with the. I don't want to say it's the biggest news because we knew it was going to happen for a while in regards to Roki Sasaki. Um, we spoke about it December of last year, and we said basically that anywhere that Yamamoto was signing, that's pretty much where Roki would be signing, and nothing changed. Even though at the end he tried to push off saying, the Toronto, San Diego, and the Dodgers were all finalists. We all knew what the score was.
It was always the Dodgers, man. As soon as they got Yamamoto, man, I told you guys that. That's what I was told a while ago, and it seemed to be true. It kind of just stuck through.
Yeah. My thing with that was, and I've said it before, I tweeted out about it in regards to him holding so many teams almost, I want to say, hostage for I don't even know how long, just way too long. I thought maybe 3 weeks before the signing day he should have announced his 3 finalists, and that way the other teams could have moved on. But instead he kept, a lot of those kids were on edge pretty much up until the last couple days there or so.
Got paid though, man.
That he did a lot more than I expected, to be honest with you. I didn't expect it to go that high, especially after the things that Wolf was saying. I thought it would be more about the development and maybe his relationship with, like, let's say, with Darvish. But at the end, it was a Dodgers and it was about money.
Yeah, absolutely.
So kicking right into it, let's just get to it. We want to talk a little bit about the 2024 class, basically the last 3 guys that signed in that class, which were Steven Martinez. Some of you might know him as Steven Romans or Steven Romans, Alfred Siriaco, and Rancio Abreu. Nick, what do you got for us on them?
I'm gonna start with the big fish, right off the jump. Steven Martinez, man, we've been linked to him for a while. Shortstop kid was supposed to sign with us in the beginning of last year, kind of held off because of Roki Sasaki. Yankees wanted to hold some money in there. They were deciding between him and Villario, who they were going to sign. Felt like Steven could be at a camp longer. So they ended up signing Francisco Villario first. Brought in Steven. Steven, man, unbelievable left-handed bat. Can stick a shortstop. That's pretty much the topic of kind of Steven Martinez. Otherwise, he would have been signed in January of last year.
Yeah, he looked really good in the videos that I've seen of him. I'll try to play some for you guys there if you haven't seen it yet. But he did look good in the video that I've seen of his. Good bat. I have nothing but positive things to say about him.
Yeah, he has one of the most beautiful left-handed swings, man, out of the guys the Yankees are linked to in IFA, man. I think is it's very polished, and I could see why the Yankees felt like he could stick out of there for a while.
What about Alfred Siriaco?
I like Siriaco too, man. Siriaco, in all seriousness, he's switch hitting, shortstop as well. I was told he was the best shortstop left on the market for the Yankees linked to him. Um, he could stick it short, man. He might move around in second or third base, but I mean the swing is pretty too. He's not like a big jack kid yet. He's got some physicality to put on in the weight room, but he's a kid that I'm a big fan of, man. I like him a lot. He comes from a great family. He's got a younger brother too that's working hard to be make it to the majors. But he's a kid, in my opinion, man, that's gonna surprise some people this year.
Yeah. Let me answer Diver real quick right here. In reference to what he said about cornering the market with shortstops, it's just if you're an IFA and you're trying to maximize your value, you're going to be a shortstop or a center fielder, just flat out. They probably get paid the most. If you disagree, you agree or disagree with me on that, Nick?
No, I mean shortstop 100% is the premium position. I mean, even over outfield, it doesn't matter. I mean, if you're a great shortstop, man, you're gonna get paid. It doesn't matter. It's the premier spot because most shortstops can move everywhere else.
Yeah, that's another thing, the flexibility, right? If you're a shortstop, if you're a shortstop, you can pretty much play anywhere around the field, third base, second base, and the outfield that as we've seen.
Yep. And
You got anything on Ranciel for us?
yeah, I mean, big kid, man. He was shorter. Yankees been interested in him for a few years now. He is up to I think what 6'3", 6'4" now. He's got some height now. He's throwing 94. You know, um, he's a little wild right now. Yankees are gonna bring him into camp, man. Try to fix that. Most of those kids are wild. You know, none of them are perfect. um,
Mhm.
but he's got a developing slider and he has a developing changeup. He's talked to me about. I like the kid, man. I think he's a solid sign. You know, they got him for cheap. Towards the end of the class, they were able to move him in the 24 class, so it didn't affect 25. Um, I like Ranciel Abreu, man. I feel like that was a good sign, good pickup to finish out the end of the class, and I'm excited to see what he does this year.
What was the fastball at for him?
94.
That's one thing you can't teach the velo. I mean, command, maybe you could try to improve it a bit, but the velo is just typically just a velo. Maybe you might be able to get a couple ticks more, but it is what it is in terms of him sitting around 94 right now.
Yeah, he's only 17 too, right? So there's more room for growth there. He's not maxed out physically like a Rowdy Reyes was, who got 1.8 from Atlanta. I mean, this is a good move, man. I feel like the Yankees really went with value here, and I'm a big Ranciel Abreu believer, man. I think he looked really good. I've been told he's like the fifth or sixth best kid in the class if you were to put him in 2025 pitching wise. But I like the kid, man. I think the value's there, and I think he's gonna have a big time year.
Um, how come the Yankees are not getting the top IFA? It's over saying, how come the Yankees are not getting the top IFA prospect anymore since Dominguez? I mean, that's not really true. They got Roderick Arias, who was the top prospect in his class, and we'll get a little bit more into that later on too.
Well, I want to touch this up too, man. I mean, so I was told to kind of answer this question like this. If the Yankees could pick 10th in the draft every year, would you guys be happy with that? Of course, because we haven't picked 10th in the draft in what 30 years. So if you're getting even the 10th best kid, it doesn't matter. You have to be pretty happy with where the Yankees fall, and sometimes it's not always, the kid might not be ranked 10th. I mean, he might to the Yankees, they might be getting a top five kid. Rankings are subjective. I can come in and say whatever I want to say. It doesn't matter what I believe or what I've seen. The rankings are subjective, and I'll tell you right now, highest paid kid, Elaine Pena. The Yankees don't feel like he's the number one kid. Period. They felt like Gonzalez was Josiar Gonzalez, who went to the Giants. He only got paid $3 million, so 2 million less. So it doesn't necessarily mean anything. It's just these deals get cut very early too sometimes, and sometimes a team beats you to a player and then they're linked there. But I know that they're very happy with what they got, and so am I, man. I think it's a very solid overall class.
I think one thing that people don't realize, and I've mentioned this before, is in terms of, oh, you got a top prospect here or there, that those relationships are built out years in advance, 2 or 3 years. It's not like a list comes out today, right? Let's say, and all of a sudden, there's a listing of, let's say, 50 top prospects, and all of a sudden you get to like pick and choose. These are kids that the relationships were developed well in advance, and it's just their teams take a risk, right? They gamble that this is where we saw this player at, and this is where we expect him to be at, later on in the future, and that's how that works. Um, as far as are the Yankees done signing IFAs? No, I know two more kids are signing. There's other kids that we had on the list that we've put out that we haven't seen anything from. We've gotten questions regarding that as well. Nick, I don't know if you want to address that further.
Yeah, I mean, there's 5 to 6 plus, plus more, I'm sure. I mean, looking at Frederick Cassiano is another top pitcher. Yankees also have Emmanuel Arzoka. Jose Vargas. You have John Paul Rosilio. I mean, there's a couple more signings still to come, amongst others that we haven't put out as well, I'm sure.
Mhm.
But yeah, I mean, so we still have more kids to sign.
Yeah, no, I've seen two kids that were never on the radar. I never heard of them either. Try to get more information on them, but nothing yet. One of them was a left-handed pitcher out of Venezuela. Ben Badler posted about him. The other kid, I forgot who it was, but I think I was asking you about him.
Yeah, the third baseman.
Okay. In regards to J Lord's question, are we still on track for a Wandy season next year? And the answer to that is yes. We'll get a little we'll get into that a little bit more later on. Um, so moving on to the 2025 class. I mean, who do you want to start off with?
I mean, let's start off with the cream of the crop, highest paid guy. Let's go with Manny Cedeno straight up.
Mhm.
I mean, that's loud.
Yeah.
right off the jump, right? I mean, Manny man came from the same academy, Paulino Baseball Academy, man, that Roger Arias came from. He's a kid that Yankees feel like is going to stick a shortstop. I think that's the only question mark with Manny. His bat to ball skills are unreal. I think he's probably a 60, 65 hitter, and the powers look legit. I saw him take a ball off Centennial, who the Yankees signed yesterday, and deep. So, I mean, say what you want, but the Yankees definitely got a really good one here, and he's a young kid. He's 16 still. So you're basically getting extra year full of development early because a lot of these kids are usually 17. So for him to be 16 years old, man, that's pretty huge for them to get a shortstop out of a Paulino Baseball Academy that's done a good job with shortstops.
His grades across the border is it 55? I think I've seen from Pipeline.
Yeah, I mean that's probably pretty close. I mean, I feel like he's an extremely hard worker though, man. I disagree with the 55 on the hit tool because I think it is closer to a 60. He really does have great bat to ball skills, man. Like I said, I think what we're looking at right now is just his ability to throw the ball around the diamond. It's gonna be is he a shortstop or does he move over to second or maybe third base? I that would be my only question mark with Manny, man, is he gonna stick a short?
Mhm. What do you got next?
Let's do Ruben right off the jump.
Love that kid swing.
Beautiful. Yeah, Ruben Castillo, man. I mean, from what I've been told, a lot of people feel like he got shorted on the top 50 MLB list.
Hmm.
He should have 100% been on there.
I'm
Uh,
only, I'm only laughing real quick because when the list came out and I brought it to the attention of who it was like, what, how the hell is Ruben Castillo not on that list?
yeah, he does everything well, man. So I've been he obviously everybody knows about or not, maybe not everybody knows, but he's done three things on the field, man. He can play center field, shortstop, and he can pitch. I heard he's an okay pitcher. He's a good shortstop, but he's a great center fielder. That's where the Yankees are going to play him. They have no interest in playing him in the other two spots. Here we go, watching him throw at shortstop. But and he's a switch thrower. Really special kid, man. When he pitches, he's a right-hander. The bat is unreal. It's very silky smooth. He's an elite runner. I would say a 65 plus runner. Um, he's a gamer. He's at Chacon Academy. I've talked to them. I asked them where they rank him out of all the classes. They think he's the third best kid that they have in that academy. The other two are Yankees. And that's one and two. So three being Chacon, who has a ton of talent there. I mean, for him to be ranked top three, that's pretty elite, man. And a go get it kind of center fielder. So this is pretty huge for the Yankees.
Yeah, I can't wait to see him on the field. Like I said, I think it was maybe a year or so ago I saw the swing and I was like, Jesus Christ, I think it's beautiful.
Yeah, and it goes everywhere, man. It's a line drive stroke, man. But he's got sneaky pop, and I wouldn't be shocked if his calling is a 15, 20 home run power at some point with elite level defense, man. And just, I mean, that's gone. He crushed that. So he's just an unreal player, man.
All right. What do you got next?
Let's do Eliezer Adames. So right here, Eliezer Adames used to be a shortstop. A lot of the people felt like he was a top like a top 10 kid earlier on in his years in the 11, 12-year-old range. He started slipping down because he couldn't play shortstop. Man, the arm was a little wonky, wasn't that great. He'll even tell you the same thing. But then he moved over to the outfield, and apparently he's looked great in the outfield. But his bat to ball skills are unreal too. He's a kid that doesn't swing and miss a lot. I wouldn't be shocked if his strikeout rate's under 10%. And he led the DSL and batting average. He just has a knack for just getting hits. And he sprays the ball all over the field. I've been told that they feel like he has sneaky pop. So I'm a big fan. I am a big fan of Eliezer Adames. And I feel like he's a 55, 60 runner too. So I could see him sticking in center. But if not, he could also move over to left field.
What do we got next?
You pick him, man. You throw him on there. All right. All right. So this is Edison Charles, not Edison Gabriel. But yeah, Edison Charles, man, is a taller kid, wiry. They have to clean up some of those mechanics there. If you look at it, it's a little off a little bit. I think Edison Charles is a solid sign, man. They got a kid that they felt like can stick in center field. Once he starts developing, he has potential to hit 20 home runs. I think that they're hoping that the bat to ball skills continue to improve a little bit more. I would say his arm is a little fringy right now, from what I've been told and what I've seen. But he's a kid, man, that I know the Yankees felt pretty highly about to give him a deal. He's been with us for, I would say, almost 8 to 9 months now is a later sign. But I'm a big fan of Edison Charles.
Coconuts. Did the Yankees get any Dodgers prospects they couldn't sign?
No.
As far as I know, they didn't pick up anybody from the Dodgers or the Padres. Let's go with Orozco. I like this kid.
Yeah, I'm a big fan too, man. Switch hitter from Colombia. Yeah, hasn't signed yet. He's basically, from what I've been told, man, the Colombian version of Alfred Siriaco. So he, who's a Dominican kid, by the way. But he, great bat to ball skills. I know Francis Romero said that he's a sleeper. I just straight up call him a gamer, man. This kid knows how to play. He's a winner. He's a leader. He's one of my favorite kids in the class. I think he's just all over the field, man. I think he's gonna stick at shortstop. The bat, he was also signed about a year ago. I would say not signed, but linked to the Yankees about a year ago. And he's a kid that right now, he's more. I would say his defense is a little bit better. He doesn't have the power yet that the Yankees are expecting, which they're hoping he can grow to like 15 to 20 home run power again. But he's another kid that I feel like is a big time, kid. He made my top 10 list of IFAs this year.
Yeah, I definitely liked him from the moment I saw him. When he sent me the videos, I just liked everything I saw from him. And like I said, or like you said, he made Francis Romero's list of I guess what is it?
Sleepers,
right? And by the way, Francis Romero is a good follow in regards to international baseball stuff. Moving on to the next guy.
I love Sebastian Ramirez. So the Yankees linked a couple. They're linked to a couple of catchers right now.
By the way.
Yeah, there's a few. But Sebastian Ramirez, in my opinion, is the number one catcher that they're linked to right now. It's close between him and John Paul Rosilio. But when the Yankees are usually attracted to a kid as a catcher, they usually don't break the bank with them, but they kill it internationally. So I mean, if you look at their backing, I mean, you had Augustine Ramirez, you have Englith Urania, you have
Eglin
Perez. I mean, you have a lot of the kids that they signed last year. Valorio, who looked good. Justin Capellian. And I am Kenny Pineda, who killed it. Probably was the best IFA last year in terms of production. So, and we have him ranked on our top 30, So, man, at the end of the day, man, I'm a big fan of what the Yankees do with their catching market and the international piece. And this kid right here, man, it would not shock me if he goes out there and absolutely kills it this year.
Yeah, I've liked everything that I've seen of him. I'm really amped. I mean, he's a Venezuelan catcher, so to me that bodes well. I know the defense is probably going to be legit. It's a matter for me of the offense. Another guy we forgot to mention in IFA from a class a few years ago is Omar Martinez.
Yep, it's another one. We said it once, we'll say it twice, right? Here's John Paul Rosilio, man. Another catcher. Loud bat from Colombia. I'm a big fan, man. One of the coolest kids you'll ever see. He wants to be a Yankee. He straight up told me, he's like, this is where I want to be. Like I could go anywhere I want, but I want to be a Yankee. He's like just a storied franchise. I want to be a winner. I wanna compete. I feel like I can hold down a staff. He's told me everything for under the sun, man. The Yankees love this kid, dude. He's just a gamer, a winner. He hasn't signed yet. It's not official with him yet, but he is going to sign. I'm assuming probably in the next couple of days. He's a kid though that I absolutely think he's a sleeper, man. I think I wouldn't be shocked too. Same thing like Ramirez, that he comes up and leads the staff, and both of them just absolutely kill it in the DSL this year. Stephen Fermin. So this is a seasoned vet, right? So we're playing with a seasoned vet here with Fermin. I think he's 20 right now.
Yeah, I think he's in some 21.
Yeah,
Dominican kid.
kid. He has some experience playing professionally. He's a kid that was a late sign, probably about a couple of months ago. Um, but he's one of the kids I'm actually a big fan, man. I think he's a gamer, man, and he can really go pick it in center field. Super fast kid, good arm. We're seeing right now. He can go get it, and the bat is good. The only question for him is power. So but defensively, man, he's one of those kids that like the Blue Jays or the Rays go and get and just stick it to you in center field, like a Kiermaier or a Varsho, or just somebody that just goes out there and picks it. So he wouldn't surprise me, man, if he starts over there in the FCL.
Yeah, I think because he's pretty much aged out for the DSL. It was, stuff that we've spoken of offline.
Absolutely.
Jason Edelman. They developed Narvaez for almost a decade and then moved him for IFA money for last year's class, plus an interesting BP arm. They've killed the IFA catcher's market, as Nick said. Yeah, I think the Narvaez signing for them was a pretty good one. I think it was for 500K that they got in IFA bonus pool money. That was a good deal for them.
Yeah, absolutely, because they were able to close Marinez and then also bring up two other kids from the following class in Siriaco and Rancel Abreu. So I mean, they absolutely did great in that deal.
The last video that I have is for Ranciel Reynaldo. He hasn't signed yet.
Another catcher, man. Left-handed bat. This one I'll let Carlos do, man. Like, because I know it's Carlos' guy.
I don't have much on him. At least he's a left hand. Like you can see, he's a left-handed bat catcher. I don't think he's signed yet, from what I have seen. I haven't seen any any postings about him, so we're still waiting on him. He's one of the guys that's still on that list that we have, where a few guys, they still haven't signed yet. It could happen. Like I know, for example, one guy I know told me that he's supposed to be signing next week. So we'll see what happens there. It could just be a matter of time. And like we said, there's other guys that we know of, or we not that we don't know of that will be signing soon.
Yeah, there's a few other kids I want to touch up, man. I know we don't have video for it, but Isas Castillo,
Mhm.
big right-handed bat. I mean, he's probably the third ranked kid in the international class for the Yankees this year. He could play center field. He could play right. He's got a strong arm. Bat to ball is impressive as well. But he's more power. So he's a guy that Yankees feel like could hit almost 30 home runs at the major league level. Um, Big bat kid. Uh, they think overall he has the most power out of all these kids. Another guy, Frederick Cassiano, he's a 6'4" pitcher. He's touching right now 95 miles an hour. He's got a slider and a changeup that are developing. I would rank him in the top 3 in pitchers. We just signed another kid yesterday named Moreno, last name Moreno, H.M. Moreno. He is another kid, man, that is, from what I've been told, a top 3 pitcher in this class. Elite stuff. Uh, he has a really good fastball, a good curveball, and he actually has a good changeup, and he locates well for Mourinho.
I think Jason's talking about Kevin Centeno.
Centennial.
Yeah, the Venezuelan left-hander.
Yeah, he's touching 91. I like Kevin as well, man. About a 6 month ago, we got linked to him. 4 to 6 months ago, he's a kid, man. That throws about 91 right now. He's a little older. I think he's like 18 or 19. But most of the arms usually wait unless they're elite level. But he's a kid, man. He throws a good slider. But it's a growing ability with him, man. It's only 91 right now. 89 and 91.
Another guy that signed officially was Carlos Bello.
Yep, Carlos Bell. That's another good one, man. Originally with the Astros, then went to the Pirates. So he was linked with the Pirates for a while. Went over to the Yankees. Yankees signed him. And that deal came up about, I'd say, a couple of months ago. The Pirates let him go, and then the Yankees ended up signing him. He's a shortstop as well. Really good bat. I've been told that the defense is a little wonky, so they're going to continue to work on that with him. But the bat to ball skills are really good as well.
I don't know who else was on that list that we had.
Well, the list that we put out, Emil Martinez, no longer linked to the
Yeah.
Yankees. He ended up going in a different direction, ended up going to the Texas Rangers. Another kid that we had put out, Lisandro Peralta, no longer with the team right now. Yankees dropped him as well. I know I put Yilmer Antonio. His real name is Yilmer Samudio. He's not linked to the Yankees until 2026. That's next year. That's my fault. I apologize as well. So, and I know that we have a couple other pitchers I can't talk about yet. But we have a couple other pitchers that the Yankees are linked to that will be signing in the next couple of days, as well as possibly in the middle of the year.
One guy, I don't know if you mentioned Jose Vargas.
Jose Vargas, another Colombian pitcher. We had him on our list too. I expect him to sign next couple of days. Kind of wild kid, man. I think he's throwing like high 80s right now. Yankees feel like like I said, he's just got to put on projection. Very, very skinny kid. But he's a little wild. But I like him, man, for a Colombian kid. I mean, it's going to be all about projection with him.
I think that was the entire list, or everyone that was on our list originally.
Yeah.
Like I said, there's been a couple guys that I've seen. I don't know anything about them. I know Badler posted the one kid. I forgot what his name was. Another left-handed pitcher.
Andre Villa.
Yes, Andre Villa was the left-handed pitcher out of Venezuela. I don't know much about him. Still waiting.
Yeah, still trying to hear information on him.
Well, yeah, we spoke about Edison a few minutes ago. If you want to move, if you guys have any other questions before that, or otherwise you want to touch on some 2026 stuff, you want to continue on with the 2025 class.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I just preach a little bit of patience with 2025 class. I mean, we're still, like I said, you're still gonna see signings coming up in the next couple of days. Expect a couple other signings. We had a pitcher as well. Like I said, it's not signed yet, so I'm not gonna talk about it. But was linked to the Phillies, dropped off late. Yankees got him. He's supposedly the top pitcher in the class, so we'll see that happen. We'll touch that up when it comes out. And then I would say, you know, going forward, man, 2026 is the year that the Yankees jump right back up. I know we had a question of why the Yankees aren't signing the best of the best. Well, I mean, and in 26 coming up, talking about Wandy. You know, he's either going to be one or two in that class, depending on who you ask. I mean, it's going to be between him and Luis Hernandez, who's going to the Giants. But those, that's that. So, and I'll answer this question here that Jason has. So, here's a question: has the signing of Fried affected the 26 guys who you have mentioned in the past who were not at Wandy's level but still highly rated? I don't remember their names, but two kids. Yeah. So once again, man, from everything that I've been told so far, that has not affected any Yankee deals. And the two kids you're talking about, I'm assuming, are Jose Colina, the catcher from Venezuela, as well as Yeson Orton. So both of those guys are still linked to the New York Yankees right now.
And for those that don't know, Yeson Orton is another shortstop. He's looked really nasty. I've seen a couple of videos of him as well. And Diver, yeah, I do have video of Wandy, but not right now.
Yeah, Yeson Orton, hands down, is definitely the premier defensive shortstop out there. I would say that the Yankees next year have two very, 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 very good defensive shortstops, not named Wandy Asijan in that class.
And speaking of shortstops, of IFA shortstops that are basically going to be in DR, the signing of Marinez and of Cedeno are basically going to push up the two. I think are going to push up the two guys that are currently there, which are Christopher Reyes and Dexter Peralta.
That should happen. I mean, I don't know how you continue to have so many spots. I mean, that's another reason why a lot of kids that the Yankees might be linked to that are shortstops might not get signed. Right? You only have so many roster spaces. So if you only have 6 infield spots, you're not going to sign another shortstop over there. So they just picked up Siriaco. You got or Zoka. You had the two that Carlos just mentioned. You got Bello. I mean, you're not going to have too many shortstop spots to continue to play. You know, these guys around the infield.
Yeah, and just in case if anybody doesn't know, the Yankees did DFA about 10 kids, all of them off the DSL teams. I can think of maybe just one of them was a shortstop, but yeah, they have already DFA'd. I want to say 10, maybe 11 kids so far off the DSL rosters.
And we still got Maddock as well.
Yeah, but Max is a third baseman. Looks to me, the glove is legit.
So for all the Yankees fans who want to sign Bregman, this is a good reason. Not get Wandy and the other kids and risk losing them all. Yeah, I don't disagree at all, man. I've been saying it for a reason, for a long time. Right now, man, the best thing the Yankees could do is try to continue to develop long-term answers. I think you have a good battle right now, right, between Roderick Arias and George Lombard, man, of young prospects. And the Yankees right now don't have to worry about second base. You're going to have Jazz for at least 2 more years. Let these kids develop, let them work. Honestly, I wouldn't mind giving it to an Oswaldo Cabrera if you want to find a little short stop, you know,
Just
that
something that doesn't block them.
yeah, somebody that's not going to hold it back. Like I think that's a good answer because we don't need to wind up in 3 good years of Bregman and then look at what we have with DJ LeMahieu.
Rakia says, if Arias and Lombards have a great season, will they move up to high A and double A?
They're both going to start in high A. I'd
Yeah,
be shocked.
I think Roderick starts at high A. Lombard is already there. I mean, I could see them both being on the Patriot or the Somerset team at the same time. They're a pretty good double play tandem, in my opinion. Definitely. I think that it's just my opinion, but I think that Lombard could. But yeah, Arias definitely has a better arm from what I've seen. Yeah. You want to touch on the last class, the next class? Live class.
The 2026. Wait, how many pitchers do you see them sign? Probably somewhere between 6 or 7 overall pitchers. I think right now we're at 4, if I'm not mistaken. You got Moreno, Avila, Centennial, maybe 3 right now. I thought we are at 4, but yeah. So right
Vargas.
now you got 3. You said who?
Vargas.
Not signed yet, but
Oh.
I could see them finishing off with 6 or 7 around there. You said touch 26 or 27?
20. The next class. Can we play Jesus Rodriguez every day at third base for Somerset? I mean, I think Jesus is pretty much, utility player. He can play there. He can play there. He can play left field. He can play first base, catcher. The bat is his calling card, and that's probably always going to be. I think that the injury that he had last season played a little bit in slowing down his development, I want to say. What do you think? I mean, I'm saying absolutely. Probably even
Yeah,
starts.
100%. I think this is the year, man, that him him and Roderick both break out 100%. I would be shocked if they don't. I expect big years from both of them, and then people start to realize, okay, like the Yankees kind of change their mold of what they're going after internationally, and we kind of see from there.
Yeah, as far as I know that the average, I think I don't remember exactly, but it might have been just around 280 or between 270 and 280 from what I recall. But I do remember that he did finish the season well. I might have posted on that on my Instagram. I don't remember what it was, but I know he went through a nice stretch there towards the end that pumped his numbers up. Do you think the only thing that most people are concerned with was the power? And he's still what, 18 years or 19 years old. I'm not too concerned about it yet.
Yeah, I think he'll be fine, man. He's a go get it center fielder.
Hmm.
Yankees first. Yeah, they're still gonna sign him, man. I've been told that even if the Yankees were to pick up a second kid that had it, Wandy Season is gonna be a Yankee regardless. I mean, he's pretty much at the complex all the time. So I don't foresee the Yankees losing Wandy Season unless baseball comes out and either implements a draft or turns around and says the Yankees are no longer able to sign international kids. Those are the only two ways I'd see the Yankees not getting Wandy Season.
All right. I mean, if you guys don't have any questions about this class, you want to touch on the next one?
Yeah, I mean,
Yes, as everybody knows, I think it's an open secret. Juan Decision is the Yankees' top IFA getting next season.
yeah, ranked either. Like I said, I've said it before. I'll say it again, man. I think he's the number one kid in the class. Everything I've been told, he's number one kid in the class. Some people might tell you he's number two to Luis Hernandez, who's a Venezuelan kid that's going to the Giants. Only reason I can see that is he's played professionally. But both of them are elite players. Wandy, I've been told, is a 70-80 runner at shortstop as well. Defensively, he's got would probably be the thing that he's got to work on the most. Bat to ball skills is unreal. His power is unreal. But yeah, he's a special talent. Wandy Season. The Yankees are lining up, man, and I want to stress this because I know people have said it before. The Yankees in 27, 28, 29, and 30 either have the first or second best kid in the entire class. 28 is going to be a lot like this class. Yankees went for the best kid, possibly in the Dominican Republic, and his age was wrong. So, I mean, they would have had over the next 5 years probably the best or second best kid in every single one of those classes. The only problem is 28. We kind of got screwed over by an age issue.
Yeah, and it wasn't that his age was wrong; it's just that he just flat out lied.
Yeah, he lied. He lied. So yeah,
Yeah,
Angel is gonna
the
lie.
Yankees did their work, and they found evidence that said that he was a lot older than what he was claiming to be.
Still getting paid though. $500,000 from the Twins. So
I think we were talking about this yesterday. How excited how excited should we be for Lalane heading into the 2025 season?
I mean, I'm excited. I think this is a big year for him, man. It's kind of like a make or break for me in my opinion on prospect list because if he struggles this year, I think you're gonna see him drop all the way off of top 30s. But if he kills it this year, then I could foresee him being in the top five of Yankees prospects, man. He has the highest ceiling as a pitcher as anybody in the system.
Yeah, somebody who's been watching him for what I think 3 years now. I think it's just a matter of health because the command is amazing. The command is very good for him. The fastball sits mid 90s. I think tops out at 97. I want to say. I'm really excited for a healthy season for Lalane this season. So outside of well, I think you pretty much touched on it. Outside of Wandy, the next guy would be Yesin.
Yeah, I mean, yes, and Orton or Jose Colina. I mean, depends on who you ask. I mean, they're both so good. I mean, they're good in their own way, right? So yes, and Orton, go get it shortstop. Can hit the ball really well. Um, in my opinion, man, was a steal. Yankees did very good very early with him. And then Jose Colina, Venezuelan kid that moved off shortstop to go to catcher. I've heard he's looked very good at catcher after moving off a shortstop. Left-handed bat, probably one of the top three prettiest left-handed swings in the system in terms of all the guys the Yankees are linked to in IFA. Um, I've been told that Yankees feel like he's a $2-3 million player. So I mean, and they're getting him for cheap.
Oh, I think he's talking about the breakout game.
Yeah,
I mean, he was really impressive, but I don't know if we could say that because Brock Selvage was
Brock Salvage,
nasty.
yeah, through
Yeah,
25 innings.
Brock Selvage put on a highlight reel just in that game. I think he went what 7 innings, 6 innings.
Yeah, he didn't go 6 or 7. He went like I think he went 6, 5 or 6. He threw, and then Yes Network said, "All right, you guys are gonna watch the
Oh
Nets
my god.
pregame."
Yeah, that
So
was crazy for some Nets pregame.
yeah, like I said, man, there's it's a make or break year for him, man. I think the same could be said for Legrande as well, man. The make or breaks for both of them this year in terms of what they're gonna be.
Who are we talking about? We talking about Wandy?
To, I'm gonna assume he's talking about Juan Diaz-Sejan. I mean, you're that's borderline impossible, man. I mean, Wander Franco's bat to ball skills were an 80, you
I think he
know,
was
and
hitting 400 in the minors.
yeah, he was just different. Like, and the Yankees were linked to him, man. We just got
Yeah, they screwed the Yankees.
we got blocked though. We got
Mhm,
blocked
yeah.
on the 2014. But at the end of the day, man, his bat to ball skills were just different. So like I think Wandy Asijan is better and will be better defensively um than Wander Franco, but the bat to ball skills for Wander Franco were so elite that I can't say that he's better than Wander Franco.
One of the questions that I've gotten up is in reference of ranking the shortstops in the system, right? And the one that I've been getting a lot is Roderick or Wandy, who's better. I
That's
mean,
not fair either.
yeah, I was gonna say I don't think it's fair to judge them yet because Wandy hasn't even been signed. But I will say that Wandy might have a higher floor.
I necessarily wouldn't say that. I actually feel like Roderick had a higher floor than that. I think if Wandy hits his ceiling, it's a different animal because Roderick is a God gifted switch hitting shortstop with elite defense. He
Hmm.
is. I mean, listen. Does he throw the ball around this past year? Yes, but he also went for 40 straight innings where he didn't make an
Yep.
error. You know
Hmm.
what I'm saying? I mean, he's still learning, right? He was only 19,
I
just
think
turned
Baseball
20.
America. I don't remember, but Baseball America had the defense rated highly.
Yeah, he and I still think it's going to be high. I'm not really concerned about it, man. But Wandy, it's tough for me. I feel like they're the same kind of talent. Like you look at them and you're like, all right, like I think Wandy's gonna have an easier transition because he's only got to focus on one side of the plate, where
Hmm.
Roderick has to do two.
One of the things we've touched on this as well. One of the things that Wandy might benefit from more so than Roderick is that Wandy has been playing in tournaments.
Yeah, I mean he's also at I mean I like Ramos's academy, man. If you look at Ramos's academy, Ramos just had Gonzalez, Wandy's at Ramos. You have Senna's at there. So I mean, he's gotten a lot of great shortstops signed in the next couple of years. So
Jason, in regards to Roderick, yeah, I mean, he did look a lot better in the second half, but that's what you want. He did exactly what you want to see from a prospect, right? You want to see the progress, and I think I posted that over his last like 47 games, I think it was. He did hit over 271. On base was close to like 380, I want to say. The OPS was over 800. The strikeout rates, he dropped it down to I think 24%. So I mean, everything was trending in the right direction.
and he switched his swing. That was it. He made a switch to the swing, and that helped him out tremendously. And like you always say, man, development is not linear, right? So at the end of the day, man, I want to see a kid like that struggle because I want to see how he overcame those struggles. You
Yep.
know, that's a kid that for his whole life has been the number one kid in his class. He's been the best of the best. Yes, he faced live pitching, but he wasn't in many games. You know, and that's the difference between American and international kids is that American kids focus more on the regular fundamentals, whereas those kids are so talented, but every day it's, we want to see you hit 110 exit velocity, or we want to see you throw this ball 95 miles an hour, and that's what they work on every single day. So you're getting the best of the best talent there, but the fundamentals might still need refinement. And that's why they also start a league younger in a Dominican summer league as other kids are starting in A-ball.
Yep. All right, you guys got any more questions?
I'll touch up one more thing, man. I don't know if anybody else wants to hear, but like, we've said it on plenty of plenty of times here, man. The Yankees are very good at what they do internationally, man. I think we have to give their scouting market and their team a lot of credit for what they do. They bring in talent, and when we get these kids, I know a lot of people come in here and they're like, "Yo, listen, man, we want 5 All-Stars and 3 Hall of Famers." You know what I'm saying? Like, otherwise, every year it's a bust. It's a bust.
Mhm.
But at the end of the day, man, it's funny because they don't look at it like that, man. They look at it as, how many kids did we sign that either one made it to the major leagues, because that's a success story, right? I mean, the amount of kids that they sign at 14, 15, 16, or get linked to, man, it takes them a minute to get there. So it's how many kids did we get to the major leagues, and then two, most importantly, outside of if they didn't make it to the major leagues for us, did we also make a trade where that kid influenced or helped our team? So when people are saying, well, we don't want this kid, or why are we only getting this kid, who knows? Manny Cedeno might hit 330, and Roderick Arias might be the future shortstop of the Yankees. But at the end of the day, man, he might get traded for, Julio Rodriguez, and that might help the Yankees win 2 World Series. Who knows? You never know.
Jason wants to know, can we get Antonio Gomez back on the prospect train? He's such a weapon with his arm. If he can hit at all, he's a legit pro.
He's going to be a pro regardless, because his defense is so good, and he didn't hit that bad. He's just a back. Right now, he's probably going to be a backup catcher. But a very good one, man. Somebody that can pick it, And at the end of the day, I'm not really too concerned. And Drew Thorpe, man, I appreciate you still want to be a Yankee, buddy. I hope it works out for you um in Chicago as well. But yeah, Rodriguez coming, man. I agree. Exactly. I don't disagree at all, man. And they were low money signing arms, right? And that's another thing. Like, I saw Fireside Yankees say the other day, like, it doesn't really matter if a pitcher gets signed. That's not accurate at all, man. I mean, the Yankees were actually linked to the top pitcher in this class. We're going to give him $1 million this year, and unforeseen circumstances that we can't talk about. But the deal just didn't materialize, and he ended up going to the Marlins. Kevin DeFrank, that kid is an ace. I wouldn't be shocked if everything holds up that he's in the majors leading that team by the age of 2021.
Yeah, and those two arms of Randy Vasquez and Johnny Brito, I think each of them was signed for like 30 and 15K. And look what that turned into.
And they might start. One of them might start for them, if not both of them this year.
Even the Kiner Delgado trade, that turned out to be what, like 250K of bonus IFA money.
Yeah, I mean, it all helps, man. Everything helps. I mean, if you can get a kid, and the Yankees, I mean, they got a kid that they felt, they could move on from, and pick somebody else up that they had more potential in, or somebody that they felt like would be better for them. I mean, it happens. Like, these trades actually help out. So why don't kids play in tournaments after they get agreements with teams, or is that only with Yankee prospects?
Well,
That's
that's not a Yankees thing.
Yeah, that's for
We're
everybody.
taking my investment thing.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm gonna hand you $3 million or $5 million, you're not gonna go out there and, want to sacrifice an injury. Not saying that they don't play; they play in their own competition within their own complex, but they don't go out and go to big showcases or academies, because who are they showcasing to? They're already linked to a team. It's not worth it to go out there and showcase to a bunch of other teams to get certain things.
Yeah, especially in this class, I think they drafted what, 13 arms, I think, in this class alone.
Yeah, in the draft, right?
Yeah, in the draft.
Yeah, 13, 14. They killed it, and they had a unreal draft in terms of pitchers. And I'm excited to see what happens, because I feel like every level has pitching talent. Also, man, I mean, that I want to say this too, man. I'm just so excited to see what Manny's going to do this year. Like, I'm excited to really see what Manny and Ruben are going to put forward this year. I know last year we kind of people felt shorted. Villario, that's another one too. I want to touch it up. He was injured. We knew he was injured. He had an
Yes.
injury to his shoulder that zaps
Mhm.
your power. Um,
Yes.
I,
When you look at his page on Baseball Reference, the numbers are not pretty. They're just not. But that's just due to the injury. The injury sapped him of his power. He lost development time. I expect him to be a lot better this season.
Oh, 100%. And the Yankees feel that same way, man. He's a unreal runner. They feel like he could stick in center field with the 70 arm. So, I mean, the Yankees are going for big tools to get kids more investment. I mean, that's not necessarily fair, right? I mean, it depends on what academy you're getting a kid from, right? Too like if a lot of the best academies that prioritize in position players don't always prioritize in the best pitching prospects, right? So, for example, Manny Cedeno's at Paulino. Paulino doesn't have elite level pitching prospects. So Roderick Arias, Manny Cedeno were embracing those elite pitchers. Although when they would play at the Yankees complex, the Yankees would pick up some arms like Moreno and stuff like that. That would be where they would face their better arms. Um, and they get their ability to play in games against each other and stuff like that. I know we have a kid in 27. We've talked about him. His name's Myron De La Rosa. He used to face Jershawn Alejandro, who Yankees signed what 2 or 3 years ago.
Hmm.
So I mean, and Myron was 11. So I mean, it's not necessarily saying that they don't compete against talented kids when they're young. It just takes some time as well, especially if they're pitchers that they haven't seen pitch. You want to touch that one?
I don't know how much we can say on that. um, there's just certain things that that we've I want to say given access to or learn about, right? Like there's a pitching regimen that is developed, and then it seems to be like it's just repeated at every single level. So a kid that's 16 years old, 17 years old is doing the same workouts as a kid that's 24 years old. We just don't see that. I don't want to say the logic, but I don't see how that's helpful. If you guys don't got anything else, I think we're gonna call it.
All right, yeah.
Let
Keep.
me ask you before we head out. So how do you feel? How did you feel about this class?
I liked it, man. I feel like it's just a very well balanced class. Like I feel like the Yankees did solid this year. I mean, I wouldn't necessarily say, you had your big fish. I mean, I feel like the Yankees, in their opinion, they had a big fish. Well, they feel like they got two big fish, right? They feel like they got Ruben Castillo and they also got Manny Cedeno. Um, but I also feel like at the end of the day, from my standpoint, it's not going to be like a class like, in my opinion, 27. I know I've told you that's for future reference, but for 27, in my opinion, is the best class the Yankees have, just the overall balance and what they've done and what they've gotten. Um, so I'm a big fan of what they did. I feel I understand what they're going for. They've gotten talented players that they feel like are going to help and be able to move. It's going to really depend on what Ruben and Manny do, right? Because those are going to be your two star-studded fish, and then what other guys come in. So we're going to see a lot right off the jump from those two kids, and that's going to be important.
Would you say we're a better pitching or position play organization right now? I would say pitching. The hitting has some catching. The position players have some catching up to do.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of actually feel like it's equal right now, right? Because I feel like we develop very good pitchers, but we don't develop top of the line pitchers right now,
Mhm.
and like a Dodgers organization who's throwing out ace after ace after ace after ace, or even Atlanta Braves, like or Seattle Mariners. I feel like we have good arms, but I feel like we can get better as well. And then position wise, I don't feel like we're that far off. I mean, I feel like if we give kids more opportunities, I know I've said it before in past episodes. It's like if you worked at McDonald's, right? If I hire Carlos off the street and I give him your manager position, you've been working there for 10 years, you'd be pissed off I didn't promote from within. That's gonna drag you down a little bit when the Yankees never ever promote from within because they're always signing free agents.
Yeah, I think it's something that we've heard. Um, we've heard that complaint before, that it's you pretty much have to force their hand. Comment wants to know, can you break down the difference between Steven Marinez and Manny Cedeno?
Yeah, I mean, they're very similar players, man. I mean, one's a lefty, one's a righty. I would say, in my opinion, Manny's a little more fluid, but Steven is too. I mean, they're both very good players. I would just say Manny's a little more fluid, and he's younger. So, um, but I think Steven, man, has loads of potential as well. It's another kid that we can't sit here and start. He's another kid. I also didn't mention him. So including Ruben, I think you have to throw him in this class as well. I mean, I know he was signed on the 23-24 international class instead of 24-25, but he's another kid that if we're going to put him in there, I would add him to that list between Ruben, Manny, and Steven. I think they're all great. And they're still stacked. So think about that for a second.
They're still refilling with more. Like I said, this draft, they drafted, what did we say, 14, 13 kids?
Yeah, something crazy. And
Yeah.
and they're still stacked out. I mean, and you had a bunch of guys internationally that should still be moved up. You got Chaniel Arias that's going to be an A ball. You had what's the kid, Angel? I'm drawing a blank. Benitez.
Angel
Um,
Benitez.
you know,
Xavier Marte will be better.
Javier Marte, who's a problem. I think he's top 15 kid in the Yankee system. They've done unreal, and then you had all those pitchers they just drafted. Plus, you had a bunch of undrafted and later round kids that have done good, like Ben Shields and Trent Sellers.
And I like that Alejandro Almonte from the DSL team.
Yep.
Should be stateside this year, I believe. All right, guys, we're gonna go ahead and head out. Want to thank you so much for coming to the first live that we've done. Hopefully, we can continue doing these. Love the interaction with you guys. Thank you for all the support. You guys have a good night. Nick.